Hi there. Let's take a look at one of the sources of finance available to most businesses. This one is called factoring. Don't forget, for businesses there are a variety of sources of finance available, ranging from long-term, such as share capital, retained profits, all the way through to the short-term capital a business needs to help it trade day to day. And this is where factoring comes in. Factoring is a short-term source of finance. But what is it? Well, factoring raises finance for a business because the business sells an asset for cash, and the asset concerned is the trade receivables, the sales invoices that are owed to the business by its customers. How does it raise cash? Well, it sells those invoices to a third-party finance company called a factoring company who buy those sales invoices in return for cash. Now, let's just look at a simple example to illustrate how this works. In this case, a business makes sales of £100,000 per month on credit, and it gives its customers 60 days on average to pay their invoices. On average, the business therefore has around about £200,000 owed to it by customers at any one time, so-called trade receivables, £200,000. But the business needs to raise cash to improve its liquidity. Well, clearly it's got two options, hasn't it? One option is to wait until those customers pay their invoices, and we're told on average it's 60 days. So on average each month you might get £100,000, which is the sales you made 2 months ago. A second option though is factoring. We could take some or all of those invoices that are owed to us and sell them to a factoring company who will pay us cash. Well, here's how it works. And here's why you can see why the factoring company may wish to get involved in this. Let's say we decide to sell all of our trade receivables, £200,000, to the factoring company because we need the cash now rather than waiting for it. We would get, let's say, 90% of those invoices paid to us by the factoring company in cash. So we get 90% of £200,000. We get in cash £180,000. But that's cash now, rather than cash in 60 days' time. The factoring company buys the right to recover those invoices. They become their debts, and they would hope to collect all, if not nearly all, the £200,000 they bought. And you can see therefore the factoring company in this simple example would hopefully make a profit of £20,000 if it managed to collect all those debts. That's the £200,000 it collects, less the £180,000 that's given to the business. Well, you can see from that simple example that there are some benefits as well as potential drawbacks of factoring to a business. The most important benefit being that you can turn trade receivables into cash quickly, which obviously helps liquidity. And also you can focus on the business activities rather than spending too long trying to collect debts. The big drawback of factoring is that there is often quite a high cost associated with it. The factoring company will look at the risks of the debts and they will offer a discount to the invoice value in order to give them the profit margin to make it worthwhile collecting the debts. And there's also a potential risk that customers of the business may feel as though their relationship has changed a little because they're now dealing with the factoring company rather than with the business when it comes to paying their debts. But there we go, there's a quick overview of factoring as a source of finance.